There are lies that we believe about ourselves. When we take lies and accept them as truths, it can do all kinds of things like keep us from creating and keep us from walking in our God-given talents. So in this video, I want to talk through why we accept lies to be truth and how we can reject lies and embrace our true identity in the truth. I remember when I was a kid, I would go over to one of my best friend's house, and his dad was a movie nerd, a movie buff is what we would have called it. And I was pretty young, so I didn't have necessarily an appreciation for movies like I do now. I didn't have an appreciation for different directors and styles of movies, all that. But he would show us some really cool movies from all decades. I remember we watched a horror movie, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, black and white, the original film, and it was terrifying. And then one year, it was the year that I Am Legend came out with Will Smith. And we watched that movie, and it is, especially when you're a little kid, that's a terrifying zombie movie. So I remember after watching that movie for years, I would get this mental image in my head of these zombies chasing me. So at night, when all the lights are off, I remember walking, I'd walk from my bedroom to the bathroom, and that mental image, that idea would pop into my head. There's zombies that are going to chase me. And so I'm, running down the hall, quickly flipping on the light switch in the bathroom and shutting the door as fast as possible. Now, obviously, I knew there weren't actual zombies chasing me, but every time that I was walking in my house at night, that image would pop into my head. Like I couldn't control it from being there. And it would cause me to react. I would run, try and get away, get to the bathroom as quick as possible. And we do that a lot with thoughts that we have about ourselves and embracing things that are not true. So for example, as a creative, you may have received the lie that you're not actually creative, or your ideas aren't good enough to share. And maybe along the way you rejected that idea at one point, but maybe you've accepted that to a certain degree. Like, yeah, I don't really do that thing anymore. I don't really do that creative hobby anymore. You play it off as this thing of I don't really need to do that anymore. But the lie that got you to that place is something that is totally directed you. It's changed the outcome of what you're doing, and it's keeping you, most importantly, it's keeping you from creating. It's keeping you from being in your God-given talents and gifts. So these lies that we can accept, they can come in all sorts of forms. It can be the big things, right? It can be that role model that told you you're not good enough, and but it can also be those little moments. For me, with this YouTube channel, for years, it was like, man, I really want to start a YouTube channel. Immediately, the thought that would come into my mind is, but why me? There are millions of YouTube channels. There's thousands of people creating content all the time. Why me? And it was this little lie that I would just allow myself to believe and not embrace what I felt I should be doing. And so, yeah, these little things can have big impacts. So often what happens is we take in these lies, and eventually they actually become part of who we are and our identity. We don't view it that way, but our identity is actually changed and impacted by the lies that we're believing. Here's my encouragement. Here's my suggestion. The lies that you believe, identify those. What are the lies that you are believing right now about your creativity, about your unique gifts? Because you have something unique to bring to the world. Only you can create what's here in your mind. Only you can create what you were created to create, right? So what are those lies that are keeping you from stepping into that? Maybe there are things that you didn't realize were holding you back. And now that you're thinking about it and looking at it, you're realizing it's time to let these go. So how do you do that? How do you get rid of the lie? First step, acknowledging that the lie has been accepted. You've accepted that lie to be true. So you got to reject it. The next thing you do is, instead of just getting rid of the lie, you say, nope, that's not true. For me with YouTube, nope, that's not true. I could make a YouTube channel if I want. Okay, that's fine. Now replace that with the truth. I have something to say. Not only do I have something to say, I have something to say, and there are people who need to hear what I have to say. That's the actual truth. So for you in your creativity, instead of just saying, no, I'm not going to go do that, I'm not going to use my gifts or my hobby, that's okay. You're rejecting the lie, replace it with the truth. Someone needs you to create. Maybe it's you. Maybe you need yourself. But there also could be someone down the line who needs that inspiration. They need to see you creating. They need to see you and your creative gifts and hobbies. So you're taking the truth, or you're taking the lie, rejecting it, and replacing it with the truth. And then what that does is that when we have the truth, we can actually embrace it, and it's going to change us. It can actually become part of our identity. When you're accepting a lie, you might say, well, I'm not actually a creative. Well, I'm not actually gifted. Well, I can't actually do what those people do. When you're rejecting that, accepting the truth, you can say, no, I am a creative. I am good enough. I am able to do what they're able to do. I am able to bring about something new through this creative endeavor, this creative hobby. So that's my encouragement as you're looking ahead at this year and thinking about how you spend your time, what creativity looks like for you, what your hobbies look like. Show up with the truth. Accept the truth and show up with that in your identity. That is where we have to start. All the other planning and the goals and the big ideas, they don't go very far without that foundation of our identity as creatives and being able to walk in our God-given talents. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please let me know how this impacted you and how this is reaching you where you're at in your journey. This is just kind of what's been on my mind, and I wanted to share it with you. So thanks so much, and stay creative.